Greetings YouTube. Today we're taking a look at the Eafengrow EF946. EF946. I got no idea if you can read that, but there you have it. This is the knife in question. Now, this particular knife was available in a number of color options. It was available in the natural kind of jade color that it comes. I believe it was also available in tan. I think those were the only two other options, but I could be wrong. But they all had this blue highlight on the screws, and I thought the blue highlight looked the best against the black. And there was something about this overall blade design and shape that really made me think that black was the appropriate color, even though I've kind of moved away from the whole black tactical vibe that so many knives seem to have today. So this is obviously a flipper with an open construction. It has a single spacer down here, which has been machined. It's got a nice little look to it. These scales are both contoured, kind of an angular vibe going on there, as well as being machined. And these little divots in here that they've machined in here give this a nice amount of grip. Not too much, not too little. You can see the two facets of the contouring right there, and it means that you can get it out of your pocket very easily, and it makes it feel very comfortable and secure in your hand. The blade is well centered. There we go, well centered. And overall, it has a very sleek, compact design. It has a deep pocket carry clip. Now, speaking of this particular deep pocket carry clip, you'll notice that the clip itself is lying on top of the scales, and the scales come to a point, and you notice the clip is not actually sitting flat on the scales because it's trying to sit on a peak. So I would have preferred if they'd machined a flat spot so that this would have sat a little down a little further, and maybe even recessed it into the G10 scale itself. That would have been preferable, because between the combination of it sitting proud of the scale and these screws, the two screws holding it in place, are a little on the domey side. I can't get this into a pair of jeans all the way to here. It only goes up to about here, and that's where it bottoms out on a pair of jeans. Now, this may work better in, say, a thinner pair of pants, like maybe a pair of khaki pants or something, but I'm carrying my knives on almost exclusively at work in jeans, and on the weekends on cargo pants. And a lot of the cargo pants I wear are actually heavier than jeans. So that actually sometimes it decides for me what knives I can carry on the weekend, because like this one, I can't carry this one on the weekend. The clip is just not going to handle the thickness of the fabric that I'm going to be using on the weekend. So I wasn't really happy with the way they designed this clip. And I think that because they didn't put the flat, they didn't recess it, that's kind of a fail when it comes to the clip design. However, because of the overall design of this, it's not very wide, it's not very thick, it isn't particularly long, it's not a very long knife. This thing disappears in your pocket. Absolutely disappears. You put this in your pocket, you don't even know it's there. So yeah, it doesn't go as deep as maybe it should, but absolutely just vanishes. It's awesome. Alrighty, so let's open up this puppy. There we go. Wonderful action on this. Smooth as silk the first time I tried it. You get about a 30% lockup on there, and there's no play in any direction on this knife. Now, the first thing you're going to see is that this is a modified Wharncliffe, because it's not perfectly flat, but it's very close to perfectly flat. And the back has got a nice little sweep in here, and in fact, the kind of the line is very well continued there. It's very, I find that very pleasing. That line just kind of goes like that right there. It comes out of the box with a nice usable edge. We have a flat grind and a secondary bevel, and it comes to a very nice point. I prefer flat grinds. That is my preference. We have the D2 there, which tells you what kind of steel it is, and on the other side, the EF from Eafengrow. I would really love if they put the model number on this, because as soon as I get rid of that box, and this particular box is going to be recycled for a Christmas gift, I'm not going to have any idea what the heck this thing's called. I'm not. It's not written on the knife. So that kind of bugs me. I would prefer if they'd actually take the time to put that on the knife. That would make my life a little easier. Now, this is not skeletonized. I couldn't remember. I've picked up a bunch of knives lately, and some of them have been skeletonized and some of them haven't. Now, one of the things I noticed right off the bat with this is it's a very short liner lock bar. And a lot of the times, liner locks are just a section of the liner that comes down to about 3/4 of the whole length. But this comes to about the halfway part, and it is actually has material removed right there. And I don't know how many liner locks I've seen like that. I've seen lots of frame locks like that. Sometimes they remove the material on the inside, sometimes they remove it on the outside. And I still would like to know if there's a reason for that. But I don't remember seeing that in a liner lock before. But it does mean that they can have a shorter length. And I'm not sure really what that mechanically does. Does it make it better or not? I'm not sure. There is a cutout here for your thumb to come in here, and it is the same on both sides. And the liner does sit proud of it slightly, so it's very easy to access. It has a nice little angle on there, which is very comfortable, like this. And I believe this thing will drop close. Will it drop close? Yeah, it will. It's a little easier when I have a little more motion going on there. One of the things you'll notice that there is like no jimping on this thing, which gives it a very sleek look. And this knife to me just says sleek. It says executive to me. It's slim and it's a sexy knife. I really like this overall design. I've carried it at work. It works beautifully. I can deploy it, remove it, deploy it, return it into my pocket without a problem with gloves on. So I'm happy about that. And it, again, wonderfully silky smooth action. I've played with this quite extensively at my desk, which is what I do a lot of the time. Also, I play with knives while I'm watching movies. Other people might find that strange that I'm sitting there watching a movie playing with the knife, but it's what I do. So if you like a sleek knife, particularly if you have an interest in Wharncliffes, this is a knife that you are definitely going to want to check out. This is the EF946 from Eafengrow. It's worth your time. It wasn't particularly expensive. I think this is in like the $25 range, though I don't remember. As I said, I've purchased a number of knives recently, and the numbers and the quantities that I paid kind of all blended together. But I like this knife. It's really well done. Excellent job, with the exception of the clip. That's the only fail I see on this knife. So, hope you've enjoyed this, and please come back in the future.